Welcome to another study style session for the BJCP training program from the Brewers Anonymous Homebrew Club. We are concluding our look at Category 3 Czech Lager with the subcategory 3D Czech Dark Lager. All right, before we start, I'm going to give the same kind of announcement I gave in the last video. The review or the beer we're going to be evaluating in this video is out of style. And we know that going into this, we're going to put that out of our heads and still judge it as a dark Czech lager. I did not get a dark Czech lager from the store that I've been buying my beers, but there has been an unusual amount of dark Czech lagers cropping up at local breweries. And I did consider getting one of those, but it's just as good practice on the score sheets to do out of style beers. Plus, getting one local, if you're not watching this in the greater Orlando area, doesn't really help you either. So I went with an off style beer on purpose to do a out of style review or evaluation on the score sheet with a beer that is you're more likely to find. Not guaranteeing you'll find it, but more likely than a local beer from Orlando. So that's where the decision came in. All right, let's get started here. Vital statistics for 3D Czech Dark Lager go. Original gravity, 1.044 to 1.060. Final gravity range is 1.013 to 1.017. IBUs range from 18 to 34. SRM range is 17 to 35, and the ABV range is 4.4 to 5.8%. All right, overall impression in the guidelines for Czech Dark Lager is a rich, dark, malty Czech lager with a roasty character that can vary from almost absent to quite prominent. Multi-balanced and an interesting and complex flavor profile with variable levels of hopping that provides a range of possible interpretations. Okay, so the characteristics we're going to judge this beer on, starting with aroma, medium to medium high, rich, deep, sometimes sweet maltiness with optional qualities such as bread crust, toast, nuts, cola, dark fruit, or caramel. Roasted malt characters such as chocolate or sweetened coffee may vary from moderate to none, but should never overwhelm the base malt character. Low to moderate spicy hop aroma optional. Low diacetyl to low moderately fruity esters, plum, or berries may be present. For appearance, we have a dark copper to almost black color, often with a red or garnet tint. Clear to bright clarity, large off-white to tan persistent head. For flavor, we have medium to medium-high, deep, complex maltiness dominates, typically with multi-rich Maillard products and a light to moderate residual malt sweetness. Malt flavors such as caramel, toast, nuts, licorice, dried fruit, chocolate, or coffee may also be present with a very low to moderate roast character. Low to moderate spicy hop flavor, moderate to medium-low bitterness, but should be perceptible. Balance can vary from malty to relatively well-balanced to gently hop-forward. Low to moderate diacetyl and low plum or berry esters may be present. And then finally, for mouthfeel, medium to medium full body, considerable mouthfeel without being heavy or cloying, moderate creamy in texture, smooth, moderate to low carbonation, can have a slight alcohol warmth in stronger versions. All right, so of course, we do have some commercial examples from the BJCP guidelines that are on the screen now, and I have not found any of those at all. And apart, like I said, from the local fare, the local offerings, the local breweries, it can get the word out. I could not find any Czech dark lagers. So what I did, there's a little story here to follow. I just kind of walked the aisles until I saw something that said dark lager, and I found something. So let's see. I'm going to cover up the label. As you can see, that says dark lager. So I grabbed it. Go, oh, that's perfect. Something declaring itself a dark lager. Well, when I took a further look at it, it's Ayinger Dunkel, which is, I can't actually say the whole name. I'm not even going to try. My mother's side of the family is like 130% German. I cannot say that word properly. So the point I'm going to is this is a commercial example of category 8A, I believe. It's definitely 8. It's not the Schwarzbier, it's the other one. It's the Munich Dunkel. So we might see this again. Didn't quite realize that when I bought it. I don't have all the commercial examples memorized, so there's a very good chance we'll see this again if I can't find another commercial example, because I know I can find this. But I have this. It is a dark lager of sorts, maybe entered in a competition we're judging incorrectly. in the Czech lager category, or they perceive it as a Czech lager, but it's more towards a Munich Dunkel. So we're going to judge it as a Czech lager. And I'm going to pour it now. I do have my study card here with all the information that is now on the screen. But let's pop this open and go through it real quick. All righty. I like that sound. I hope it's coming across on mic. That's been fun to do for some weird reason. All right. Pouring here. Oh, okay. So my reaction was, I believe that's a little light too. That's funny. That's what I expected the last beer to be, but it's definitely darker than the last one. But oh wow, it's actually, the head is freaking beautiful. That is off-white frothy head that's tending to linger, didn't fall very quickly. It's very clear. I think that's coming across on camera. It's quite clear, and color might be a little light. I'll have to check. Actually, I have the same card here. So looking, let me show you here. Okay, it might squeak by that lower end of 17. 17 is that second from the top there that I'm putting against it. It might squeak by. All right, it's barely in there. We'll call that barely in there. Aroma. Oh, okay. There's that distinct lager note that I still don't quite have a word for, and I have looked it up, and there's not really too many words that describe it other than lager yeast note. So maybe that is what it creates, other than sulfur. It's not a sulfur aroma. A little bit of the grain, no roasty grain, just kind of base malt, sweet but not super sweet, just a little hint of it. Getting more of a I'm getting some hop character. Not quite sure if it's earthy or herbal. I'd say it's probably closer to earthy. All in all, quite pleasant. All right, let's get to the flavor, or the flavor. Okay, flavor's way more complex than the aroma was. That's actually really nice. Okay, I'm getting that base malt sweetness. I'm getting just a little bit of breadiness, a little bit of touch of graininess on there. A little bit of specialty malts, a little bit of like kind of a crystal, kind of a low end crystal, not that high, not the higher end, something around the 20, under 40 range for sure, at least on my palate. And just a hint of a drying from a dehusked dark malt, maybe Carafa, maybe Black Patent, but no roastiness, no coffee type roastiness at all, just that drying. And that also might be the beer, but I think it's more from the malt, or maybe a combination. Actually, it's probably better said. Body, medium light. Carbonation is moderate. No real creamy texture to it. The carbonic bite is the most texture I get on it. Maybe a hint of a bit of a cream texture. No astringency, even with that drying and the little bit of the dark malt present. No, not even a perceived astringency. So, all right, this is going to be interesting. Again, I did this last time, and I think it worked out really well. I read through this like really slowly and just kind of took it in, and a lot of the things kind of popped back in my memory as I was judging. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to read through that, then I'm going to judge this beer. Of course, I'm going to pause the video before I do all this. So actually, let me do that now. I'm going to pause the video. You do the same. If you have a commercial example, fantastic. Score it. Well, whatever example you have, score it as accurately as you are perceiving it. So let's do that. Let's both pause our ends of the video and then meet back here and discuss what we have. I am back. I have my score sheet. Hope you filled out one as well. And this actually did a lot better than I thought. I think in the end, this is probably a better Czech, dark Czech lager than a lot of local dark Czech lagers. It's not a dark Czech lager, but let's talk about that, the details here. So aroma, I have moderately light sweet base malt character up front, sweet crystal caramel malt notes at a moderate level, light to moderately light earthy hop notes, a distinct lager yeast fermentation profile throughout, and I gave that a 10 out of 12. On appearance, I have a dark copper to brown in color, just in style range. Large, light tan, frothy, moussey head on pour that lingered. Very clear, and that's a 3 out of 3. Flavor, I have a bready, grainy, and sweet base malt flavor. Caramel flavors are moderately light, a distinct dark malt presence without offering any roast or coffee-like flavor, moderate herbal hop flavor, very light hop bitterness that's fleeting, and I gave that a 16 out of 20. For mouthfeel, I have medium light-bodied, moderate carbonation level, a very light, delicate cream-like texture, no noticeable or overwhelming alcohol warmth. Carbonic bite adds a pleasant texture, no astringency, and that's a 4 out of 5. And then finally, an overall impression, I have a very clean and flavorful beer. Malt characters, the style hop character and aroma and flavor is a bit out of style. A more spicy forward hop would help with the hop character. Bitterness is also very muted for style. An increased hop bitterness would bring this beer closer to expected style. And that is a 6 out of 10, giving it a 39 out of 50, which still puts it in the excellent range, as you can see there. And really couldn't ding it for anything else because, like I said, oddly enough, it's a fair representative of Czech lager without being a Czech lager, and it's better than a lot of local dark Czech lagers I've had. I'm not going to mention any because, geez, I don't need that out there. But cheers on finishing another style session category. We are done with category 3, so let's have a quick toast on that. And we're going to, as you're following this, if you're watching this in the BJCP training program, we're going to go back to some of the informational slides to prepare us for the entrance exam. After a few of those, we'll take another break and do some style studies. But this has probably been the most diverse style study we've done, especially with doing these out of style beers, which is an important practice a skill we need to hone for our tasting exam. So I hope, even if you couldn't find something that was exactly the style, I hope you still grabbed some kind of beer that was close and did these exercises, because that is only going to help you. That's what these sessions are all about. And again, save your score sheets. Let's see. We should have altogether, 11 score sheets. Okay. I haven't figured out what I was going to do for the introduction video to the next category, and I just figured it out now. Save your score sheets. Get those score sheets together, because when we start category 4, we're going to do something to those score sheets to help us improve our judging and our evaluation skills. So have those handy. When we get back to the style studies, we're going to take a look at them. We're going to be looking for something. We're going to be looking for patterns that we repeat and how we're going to break those patterns and make our score sheets even better for not only our test or exam, but for judging as well. So on that note, that is it for this session and this category. We are done Czech lagers. I will say, if you're just joining us in this video on YouTube, this is part of a much bigger BJCP training program. It's free. It's extensive. We're trying to make it the most, what's the word? I hate when I do this. The most, comprehensive preparation or set of videos program available, because this hobby needs judges, not only in Central Florida, where this program is based and our homebrew club is based, but in the hobby in general. So please check it out. It's at learn.brosanonymous.org, completely free, and we are striving to give you everything you need to pass your online entrance exam and then your judging/tasting exam, whichever term you go by for that exam. So check us out if you haven't already. So thank you for watching. That is it. Let's move on to some more course material. I will see you in that next section.